Sports presents.
G Sizzle, what's going on, baby? How you feeling today?
What's going on, Jay? How's everything with you today?
Man, I'm just glad to be inside in the bunker because it's crazy outside. So I'm going to stay right here where it's safe. Me and a bag of chips.
Yeah, well, I'm already dressed and prepared for the protest. I'm going to protest if they don't bring back orange soda to McDonald's.
I know, right? I'm going to tell you another thing they need to bring back to McDonald's. Two things they need to bring back to McDonald's. First thing, the McDonald Land cookies. Why did they ever leave?
Yes.
They were the best shortbread cookies ever. They were fantastic. And back before I was lactose intolerant, I would definitely go get me some McDonald Land cookies and a strawberry shake and get the dipping like this. It was fantastic. Number two, I'm going way back, G Sizzle, and this might be before you, but they used to have these cream cheese filled croissants that were there, and they would take those croissants and they would put them inside of a steamer and they would steam them, and there would be a cream cheese filled pastry that they had there at McDonald's. Probably you got ptomaine poisoning because that thing probably never was cleaned out, but it was fantastic. I'm going back in the protest. I want the cream cheese. Even though I can't eat that anymore either, but definitely the shortbread cookies.
Well, yes, after 55 people were found dead on the floor from steamed cheese cream croissants, I
fantastic.
think McDonald's said no more.
I know, that's good stuff.
Let's get ready to get the show started. You know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. Listen, we've got to talk about a lot. We got a jam-packed show. We got stuff going all over the place.
Yeah.
But right now, let's just jump into it and let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. Oh, baby, we got to talk about the 4-4 Bulls who put on a clinic last night. And I don't think I've said the word clinic.
A clinic? A clinic? A clinic? They went a clinic?
A clinic. Yes, sir. On how to return from a 20-point first quarter deficit. That was a clinic.
That was a tale of two bulls. You had the first bull team came out who was bull beep, and then the second team came out. They were just bullish on getting the basketball in the hoop. So I don't know which side you want to talk about. You want to talk about the first and second quarter Bulls or the third and fourth quarter Bulls? Because those are two different teams that came out.
Well, let's talk about Zach LaVine. We talked about on the show yesterday, him being consistent and consistency with what he had to do.
Yeah.
And we had a consistent effort out of Zach. Quentin was listening, and everybody who knows Quentin Smith is the fan of the show. Not only is he a fan of the show, he is our internet guy. He's the one who gives you all the information on all of the platforms. So in the Messenger, on the website, on the Facebook page, he's the one who's always giving you what's going on. He was saying,
all the business,
I'm listening to y'all kill my Bulls. And I was like, we're not killing the Bulls. The Bulls have been killing the Bulls.
Yeah.
We just need some consistency out of somebody. It doesn't matter who, anybody. I think Zach LaVine did that yesterday.
Well, Stacey King said it best. He says, that the leader of the Bulls is not on the floor. He's their head coach. And so we still don't have a leader of the Bulls, but we also saw a young man step up again, take the big shot, and hit the big shot at the end of the ball game. But let's look about what happened at the beginning of the game and how they got there, because the Bulls lucked in to this comeback.
Sure. I mean, it wasn't – you had the numbers. Zach LaVine was 18 points. He was 6 for 18. He was 4 assists. But the key was the luck started when he started buying into the system and gave him 9 assists. Now, that's a telling number, and that's a telling stat for Zach LaVine, because now that means he can take the pressure off of a Kobe White, who Kobe White gave you 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. Now, you would like ultimately for your point guard to have more than 5 assists, but when you've got a point guard and a off guard working in tandem, and they're able to keep their composure and keep moving forward, I think you've got a good recipe, Jay. You said it yesterday that the team has to take on the persona of their head coach. I think now the Bulls are learning how to come into games, not get rattled, and still be able to win a game.
Come on
Last
now.
season, they would have folded a
Come on,
20-point deficit.
they should have folded.
Folded
They should have folded this game. Dame Lillard had 13 points in the first quarter. The Bulls were 2 for 10 from the arc. They looked like trash. Like they didn't have an idea what was going on. And then you saw the Portland Trailblazers take their foot off the pedal. They relaxed. They brought their reserves in, and all of a sudden the Bulls started chipping away a little bit and got a little bit of confidence. Had Dame kept their foot on their throat like they should have, they could have had the Bulls by 30 points by the half. The Bulls came back against the second team. That's what happened. Dame Lillard and them, again, he and CJ McCollum, they rallied back in the back end of the game, but by this time the Bulls had some confidence. Had they kept their foot on their throat early, that game it'd have been 30 points by half. So I'm just looking at a Bulls team right now, and that's a very good guard tandem. You saw what happened when a good guard tandem wants to put it to the Bulls. They can do what they want to do with the Bulls. Now you saw the Bulls finally get upset and start coming back and playing a little bit better. And in the second half, they got it together and they started pushing a little bit and started making a run at it. By that time, the game was even up at that point. But like I've said, had the Trailblazers kept making their push like they were supposed to, the Bulls were down 20 points. Am I right about that?
Yes, they were.
They were down 20, and it wasn't looking good. So to me, a lot of this is just the Portland Trailblazers find a way to lose this basketball game, and that's what they did.
Well, they did, and they did it effectively, letting the Bulls come back, rallying, come back, and from that, Billy Donovan always talks about the swings, that 23-point swing. Somewhere there's 11 points on each side where offense and defense is going to swing. So when you look at the Bulls, you look at, they put in, and the stat lines gave you some good, it gave you something of encouragement. You had an Otto Porter at 19 and 13, gave you encouragement. Again, Kobe White, 21 and 10. That's all encouragement. Those are all things that you think, that's going to be great, but I don't know exactly what it's going to stand for tonight when they go up against the 3 and 4 Kings. They do have a lot of firepower and a point guard that's going to put a lot of pressure on.
Well, the thing about it is you can't have Zach LaVine going 2 for 8 for the first half. He was distributing the basketball, but when did he become the point guard? When did Zach LaVine become the point guard? It's like these roles get reversed. Kobe White should be distributing this basketball, right? We can't have Zach going 2 for 8 for the first half. You can't have that. He's got to be consistent. Now, he rallied back in the second half. We haven't talked about that yet. But I understand what you're saying. There are some consistent things about the Bulls when you look at their stat lines that look good. But if you don't just look at the stat lines and you take a look at the game and how the game's being played itself, it's like there's a lot to take from this that you don't like to see because you're not seeing them being consistent. And that's the biggest thing with the Bulls right now. There's just no consistency right now. Man, they made it exciting on the back end. But I tell you, I was going to give Zach LaVine up business because I looked up halfway through the third quarter, he only had 9 points.
Yeah. We had said that. You had said that, if he could be consistent, maybe we could get a good flow out of these Bulls.
Yeah.
But let's look at that first half. Let's just look at what they did. What is it, Jay, they weren't doing that didn't give them that offensive flow? Was it that Portland wasn't working them hard, or they just weren't living up to their expectation?
What they weren't doing, again, they're running this Billy Donovan offense, which I'm not a super fan of right now because it has guys on the opposite side of the floor standing at the three-point line. You're not getting a lot of backdoor cuts. Not a lot of movement on the backside. So I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to space the floor, being open for our shooters. But we don't have Dead-Eye Dick out there shooting three-pointers right now for us. We don't have, Stacey King last night was talking about how great of a three-point shooter Denzel Valentine was for the Bulls, but Denzel Valentine doesn't play enough to make that any make any difference from what I'm trying to say. You got to get a guy who's going to get on the floor, that's giving you 30 minutes, that's a guy who's going to be deadly from the arc. That's the reason why you see these really good teams have their guy in there, because you can't fall off. You can't play 5-on-4 basketball, leave a guy alone on the arc. Maybe he's going to hit it, maybe he's not. We saw the Bulls, like I said, went 2 for 10 from the arc. So when you got this type of situation going on, this offense does not lend to the Bulls being able to put it to people. Now, you had some heroics happen on the back end, which I was glad to see about that. But the beginning, how do we get 20 points down? And we could say, oh, it's the NBA, teams are going to go on run. Look, the Bulls went on a 13-0 run. Yeah, but the Trailblazers had basically checked out by that time. The Trailblazers, they were back at home. They were playing. They were on the bus by that time, seeing who was going to team up for Call of Duty. That's what they were doing. So all of a sudden they looked up and and even with that, they were only the Bulls, but the Bulls were still down 9 by halftime. You know what I'm saying? Even with that big run, they were still down 9 by halftime. So what I'm saying is that we need more of the third and fourth quarter Bulls in the first and second quarter. You know, whatever they do, that needs to start happening. That way we'll find some consistency with this ball club.
Okay, well, let me ask you about your man, Patrick Williams. The rookie came in. He wasn't electrifying, but he was solid. He did his job. He played his role.
Okay.
I mean, okay. See, you're not going to just poo-poo. You can't just poo-poo Patrick Williams. He's 19. He's a kid.
I don't want to hear about that. How old was Kobe when he came to the league? 17. Okay, don't want to hear about it. Don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, he was 40. He just said he was 17. He was actually 40.
I don't want to hear about it. If you're old enough to be picked 4th overall, then you're old enough to put the ball in the basket. You're old enough to let's go play some basketball. You know what I'm saying? He's a good basketball player. I'm not knocking him on that. My thing is he's not the guy. Let's go down the list of the Chicago Bulls. Who do you want taking the last shot for you? He don't even come on the floor. Scottie Pippen.
No,
well, yeah, okay. What I'm saying, but if you look at the Bulls right now, he's not that guy.
Oh, the Bulls right now?
Yeah.
Oh, nobody.
No, I'm saying Patrick Williams right now. Would you get a ball to him and you need a bucket? No, you would not. You would not give the ball to him and say, go give me a bucket. I need a bucket. No.
I probably would give it to Kobe first.
I'd give it to Kobe first. I'd give it to Zach first. I'd give it to Denzel Valentine first. And I'm not a Denzel Valentine fan.
Wait a minute. If one's docking into the station, are you getting on the Valentine train?
Look, if it was a guy to hit the game-winning shot, or I need a bucket, not even game-winning shot, but I need a bucket right now, I'm giving the ball to Denzel Valentine before I'm giving it to Patrick Williams. Not because that Denzel Valentine is that much greater of a basketball player than he is, because he's not, but I just don't see Patrick Williams have that thing in him right now and saying, I'm going to go get a bucket. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I have yet to see him go, let me break this guy down and go get a bucket. You know, I haven't seen him do a Zach LaVine. I'm gonna turn this corner and I'm gonna poke on somebody. I haven't seen him do a Kobe White when he decides to go to the bucket. I'm taking this guy off the dribble, take him to the bucket. I haven't seen Patrick. He has not got me out my chair once, not yet. He had a little dunk yesterday and some, but he has not let me go. Oh, there it is. He's got a nice jumper. You know, I wanted to shoot that some more. You know, his little midi game is nice, but, you know.
Maybe we're just being cruel. Maybe we're jumping on him too fast.
No, you're in the NBA. You're in the NBA. You're playing starters minutes, right? You're in the NBA. Right. You're the fourth round. You went into the draft early. Mm-hmm. You went into the draft. If you wasn't ready to go into the draft, you could have stayed. Maybe you would have started at Florida State.
Well, wait. Nobody told the Bulls to pick him. Nobody said go and pick this young man.
And there is the rub. And nobody told him to move up to go get him. Is he a solid kid? Yeah, he's solid. And can he play defense? Yeah, he can do that. Is he a guy that's going to put the team on his shoulders? I don't know. I ain't seen it yet. And that's what I want on my fourth overall pick. I got it. Come on, man. Pick me up. I'm
trying to think of the greatest fourth overall picks in NBA history. and where they line up. Because if you look at Giannis, you look at some of the other guys. Let's take KD out. Let's take out Steph. Let's take out some guys who were great. But I'm talking about great fourth picks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not the third. Fourth pick.
Let's
and we
see.
keep saying
We got Dave.
we got
Dave Cowens, Dikembe Mutombo, Chris Bosh, Rasheed Wallace, Glenn Rice, Lou Hudson, Jerry Sloan, Lamar Odom. You want some more?
They're all bigs.
You want some more?
Wait, did you really say Rasheed Wallace?
Rasheed Wallace, number 4 overall.
Okay, Rasheed Wallace was almost a 7-foot tall phenom.
Hey,
that could play 4 positions.
All right, so we got Lamar Odom, right?
Great. I mean, some may say good, some may say great.
You remember? Wait, we won't go back to our Glenn Rice. Is he big dog?
Yeah.
He's not. Is he big dog? Is he big dog? Okay, all right.
Don't do that.
Is he Rasheed Wallace?
No, nobody was Rasheed Wallace.
Is
Is
he Chris Bosh?
That's a different. Okay, you're talking about giving him another 3 inches.
Dave Cowens. I mean, 4th overall pick.
He can stick Dave
Cowens. Fourth overall pick is supposed to be. You're supposed to be that guy. You're supposed to be that guy. Right, 4th overall pick.
Last 4 4th overall picks. Give me the last 4.
I had to go dig him up now.
Yeah, you're going to have to give me 19, 18, 17, and 16, because that's where we're talking about right now.
Okay, last 4.
You got to give me something.
Let me go take a look here. Let me go back.
Who just throws out Chris Bosh? You can't just randomly say Chris Bosh. You can't just put Chris Bosh out there and just say, oh, well, Chris Bosh was a 4th pick.
Let me see what we got here. Hold on. Let me bozo pewter here. Here's the NBA draft pick number 4. All right. Mm-hmm. So 2019, you had DeAndre Hunter. You had 2018, you had Jaren Jackson.
Yeah.
You had Josh Jackson in 2017. Dragon Bender out of Israel. Kristaps Porzingis in 2015. Aaron Gordon in 2014. Cody Zeller in 2013. Deion Waiters.
I'm not giving you Deion Waiters. I'm not giving you Deion Waiters.
Tristan Thompson.
Nope.
Tristan Thompson, 2011.
That's different. Yeah, okay.
Wesley Johnson.
I don't see Wesley Johnson as
all right. Let me just keep rolling down. Now this is where we get down to some problems here. All right, 2000 and now you had Tyreek Evans. 2008 Russell Westbrook. 2007 Mike Conley. 2006 Tyrese Thomas. 2005 a guy you.
That Tyrese Thomas thing was supposed to be. See, okay, all right, just keep going.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
2005 Chris Paul. Okay. 2004 Sean Livingston. 2003 Chris Bosh. 2002 Drew Gooden. Oh, and in 2001, guess who was the 4th overall pick? Probably the biggest bust ever in the draft in the NBA. And can you figure out what team he played for? Oh, he was a Chicago Bull. His name was Eddie Curry.
Well,
so let me ask a question. Are we gonna get
better than Eddie Curry?
Are we gonna get who Aaron Gordon out of him? Could he be Aaron Gordon?
I think he could be better.
Porzingis?
He could. No. He doesn't have Porzingis.
Sean Livingston? That's comparable bodies. That's comparable.
He could be Sean Livingston.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wait a minute. Sean Livingston, okay, he had the terrible injury.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you hadn't seen a 6'8", 6'9" point guard in a while.
Yeah. Hey, Sean Livingston, if it wasn't for those injuries, he would have been the pantheon of players in the NBA. Sean Livingston was the truth. If it wasn't for that knee and him coming back, Sean Livingston was nasty with a capital N on top of it. Right now, I don't see the 4th overall pick for the Chicago Bulls. I don't see that guy. Is he in that mid-level of guys I just called off? Because he must be one of those guys whose name that we don't know. Because I can't, any names that we knew on that list, he's not comparable to at this point. To me, that's what your fourth overall pick is supposed to be. He's supposed to be a game changer. He's supposed to be a guy that you can surround and wrap your team around and say, that's a guy I want to build with. Is this guy, is he even going to be here during the you can't even say he's going to be here even during championship years when the Bulls turn into a champion, whatever that's going to be.
Why do you keep saying that like you know the date and time? Nostradamus, do you know something we don't know?
One thing I sort of know right now is if you look at this group right now, is there one player on this team you would take on this team and build a team around?
Yes.
Who?
Billy Donovan.
One player.
Yeah, no.
I mean, is there one guy on this team, including Patrick Williams, that you would say, all right, guys, we're going to be a champion in 5 years. I'm starting my team off with that guy. No. This is what I'm saying. So if that's the case, then why is he your fourth overall pick? He's not that guy.
Because the fifth overall pick sucked, and the sixth overall pick.
So why move up to get him then?
Well, you didn't move up. You just got a ping pong. You just bounced in your favor. You just did that. I don't know. But I do know this. The person I suggested they get. Now, nobody cares what I suggest. But the loyalists, because I do believe Zach LaVine heard you yesterday. I think while he was on the bus to the game, he listened to the podcast and realized that he needed some consistency. The person that I think the Bulls should have taken was Tyrese Halliburton. Mm-hmm. I think as a combo guard, he's probably in the league a better point than he'll be a off guard. He would look pretty good. Mm-hmm. So now you've got the Bulls and the Kings. You've got a De'Aaron Fox. You've got some things, Rashad Holmes. You got some players there. The Kings remind me a lot of the Bulls. It's a lot of mismatched pieces, but they've got two better pieces that you could form around. Fox and now Halliburton. Got that you can actually build around.
And that was the guy I was looking at. That's why I was so surprised and literally had to pull the car over when I heard they got Patrick Williams. And Halliburton was still sitting there?
Mm-hmm. And kept sitting there.
And kept sitting there. I don't, that guy I had an idea was going to be the guy who he is. Right now, Patrick Williams still has not showed me. Now, I hope I got to eat a whole lot of crow in a couple of years. Maybe I hope he turns into Scottie Pippen or somebody like that. But right now, I mean, I haven't seen a flash yet.
Scottie who?
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie who?
Scottie somebody. Look.
No.
Scott Burrell.
No.
Look. I just want to see a flash, a glimpse. Mm-hmm. I just want to see him take somebody off the bounce. I just want to see him just put somebody in the spin cycle or just come nasty down the lane and just put it on somebody. Like they tried to steal his gym shoes in summer camp. I mean something. Give me something, But I saw him when he was defending Giannis. Giannis was just beating the heck out of him, like Giannis does. But and then you have Billy Donovan. Oh, it's good for him to to go up against a guy like that because it's good experience. Now we know he didn't have summer league and all that. We understand that, but you're the number 4 overall pick. You are the 4th baddest dude in the world, basically, who doesn't play in the NBA. Think about that. You're the 4th baddest dude in the world right there, right? Because they could have picked guys who play pro overseas. They could pull somebody out of Israel League. They could have pulled somebody who plays in the Chinese League. They could have pulled anybody, the billions of people on the planet. You're the 4th baddest dude in the world that doesn't play in the NBA. That's who you are, the 4th overall pick.
So you're ultimately saying that he is not even the 4th best player in the draft?
You have to be. If you're picked 4th overall, you are the 4th baddest dude in the world. Now, good to give and take a little bit here and there about positions and so forth and so on. But when you come into the league, you need to be playing like that. You see,
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
Who in the heck? Who were the three people better than Chris Bosh when he was drafted?
Heck, I don't know.
I'm trying to think. If he's number 4, then it had to be Jordan Jr., Magic Johnson Jr.,
let's look
and
at
Larry Bird Jr.
Let's look at Chris Bosh's draft. Let me look.
But it has to be somebody a hell of a lot better than Chris Bosh, and I don't know where a hell of a lot better than Chris Bosh is.
But you know, Chris Bosh was the truth. Let's see, 2003. Let me see. Here we go.
There has to be somebody there. 2003 was that? No, that the LeBron James draft.
Don't give me a line to you. I'm not sure.
And D Wade.
Let's see. Let's see.
I'm trying to think. Was that Kirk Heinrich? And maybe I'm off a year.
Chris Bosh draft. Come on. 2003. Let me see. Why can't I find this right now?
But I want to say it's somewhere in there. Somewhere in that pantheon.
But they had
great. The number 1 pick should be a Hall of Fame already. That's all I'm saying. The number 1, 2, and then by the time you got to 3, they should be Hall of Famers to have beat Chris Bosh and been drafted before Chris Bosh.
All right, so let's look and see here. You got Chris Bosh was drafted 4th. Dwayne Wade was drafted 5th.
Yeah.
Let's see who else.
There was Heinrich in that draft. That was LeBron James should have been number 1, correct?
Yeah, let me look. Hold on. I'm still not finding it. I want to say he was. First overall pick. Yeah, that looks like LeBron. Let me look. Okay. Let me see.
Guaranteed Hall of Famer.
Okay, so here you go. Okay. You got LeBron James, right?
Right.
Darko Milicic, number 2. Carmelo Anthony, number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had Chris Bosh. You had Chris Bosh, number 4. You had Dwayne Wade, number 5. Number 6 was Chris Kaman. You had Kirk Heinrich, number 7. T.J. Ford, number 8. Number 9 was Mike Sweetney. Jarvis Hayne was 10th. McHale Petras. Nick, I'm trying to see if there's anybody else down here. David West was number 18.
Okay. I mean, it was a lot of guys who played for some time in the league. Petras.
But what I'm saying to you, even with the great LeBron James in there, number 1, right? The great LeBron James.
Chris Bosh should have gone number 2.
Chris Bosh. Well, I don't know. Not above Carmelo. When you think of old man Carmelo. I'm talking about Carmelo.
Old man Carmelo. I'm thinking of Denver Carmelo.
When Carmelo was at Syracuse.
Carmelo. Yeah, I remember Syracuse. There is no explanation then that he should be number 3 and not number 2. Darko did nothing to let you think he was going to be the number 3, and that's why Joe Dumars is not one of the greatest executives of all time.
Right. So. But going back to my original point, right? Mm-hmm. Your number 4 picks got to be the man.
Okay, I give it to you.
You know,
if you don't throw Chris Bosh out there, you better talk about somebody who was the man. And you telling me Chris Bosh was only 1 pick better than Dwayne Wade? I'll tell you that you are on that dope.
Chris Bosh was the show enough. So the thing about it is now is Patrick Williams going to be the show enough.
You're going to have to be. Now that you told me that and Chris Bosh, now we got to send him a letter from the Sizzle and say, if you don't live up to Chris Bosh status, you
come on, man. That number 4 pick, you got to be like, oh, yeah. That number 4 pick, he got to be that guy. And he's not. Yeah, and he's not that guy. You know, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen it yet, and that's my biggest thing about it. Yeah. And are we going to see it?
I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. But what are we going to see tonight with the Bulls and the Kings?
Pretty much the same thing we saw last night.
Okay.
You know, my whole thing about it is, can they consistently come out and play well for 4 quarters? Mm-hmm. Can Kobe White give up the basketball to people who can score? You know, I saw Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine was driving and kicking. That's Kobe White's job.
Is it?
Look, it's almost like they got their
Is
role.
it?
It's almost like they got their roles reversed. Like it's almost like Zach LaVine's playing point now. Because I saw him do a lot of driving,
Maybe
kicking.
Billy Donovan said, this point thing ain't gonna work. Not if I want to keep my career coaching record.
So
Zach,
that's why we're seeing Kobe White letting it fly from past the 3-point arc.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, there are worse options.
Worse options of what?
There's Michael Sweetney. So, I mean, there are always worse options. But let's flip the script a little bit because the Bulls weren't the only thing that happened.
No.
Bulls weren't the only thing. What did happen was there was a Heisman Trophy given out. There was the Heisman. And it went to Devontae Smith, a junior. He is the 82nd recipient. There have been 82 other people who have received the Heisman Trophy, the first virtual Heisman, and the first full-time receiver since Desmond Howard in 1991.
Yeah.
So, Jay, what are your thoughts about the 6'1", 175 junior receiver who put up some pretty good numbers and might be leading his team to a national championship?
Sugar smooth, can't guard him. If he touched the ball, he gone. He's that guy. Put it around him, he's going to catch it. It's unfair. These are everything I can put out there about him. He's just unfair. I mean, he's a guy. Is he exceptionally tall? No. Is he exceptionally big? No. Can he run like a deer? Absolutely. Can he jump like a gazelle? Absolutely. Is he tough? Absolutely. Got great hands, like a vacuum cleaner. And he's got the right temperament. Yeah. If you don't, he's going to go get the football. I don't think when he comes to the league, he's going to talk about passing out Gatorade and just trying to come in there and just, I just want to contribute.
You just keep taking shots at poor Pat. You can't let Pat go. I tried to even move us to another sport, and poor man. Pat is just getting it. Boy,
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's go. Anyway, yeah, right. but going back to the Heisman Trophy winner. Who?
Yeah. Devontae Smith, 105 receptions, 1,641 yards. He's had 20 TDs. He also added 265 yards returning, kick and punt return with a return score. So you're talking about maybe the sixth player, possibly the sixth player to be in the running or have won a Heisman and a national championship.
Yeah.
Let me give you some of the people who've done it before. The other five: Matt Leinart in 2004, Mark Ingram in 2009, Cam in 2010, and famous Jameis in 2013.
Crab leg, the crab leg kid.
The crab leg master. There might be a Chicago Bear. Don't laugh yet. It could happen. I mean, we're talking about a kid who gets deep. He can cause separation. He's fluid, blocks well, and somebody who really wasn't supposed to be there because the exciting receiver on Alabama was Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
That was who everybody thought.
Yeah, got gimped up.
This is the kid.
Yeah. Got gimped up. But this kid here, man, is a kid who just worked his way into being what he is. He's undersized. But I think it's that undersizedness where it's hard to put a hand on him when you're playing press coverage. He's super slick, like he's gone. He's a blur when he gets past you, and he's got bye speed. He should write bye on one back of his one cleat and bye on the other one. So when he's running down, he's just telling you bye because he's out of there. So he's a guy who deserves this. He worked hard for it. Especially, that's one of those things where the rich just get richer. It's unfair that Alabama keeps turning these guys out, but Nick Saban's the best in the living room there is. And no matter what. I don't know how he keeps getting these guys to come and play at this program and wait year after year to get their chance to play, where all these guys who come in for Alabama could have probably went somewhere and started all 4 years.
It's interesting. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. When we talk about Devontae Smith, he's projected to either be 5th-round pick by Cincinnati or a 6th pick by Philadelphia. Now, he's only behind Jamar Chase, which is ranked number 1 as the top wide receiver in college football this year. And I don't think Cincinnati, it would be nice to put – he could either go 1 or 2. And I think Cincinnati would be good to put Jamar Chase with their quarterback, unite that thing and keep it kind of going. But we've seen that doesn't really happen in professional sports. I don't think he gets past pick number 7. Now, there's a possibility that Miami could come in at number 3 and grab him up, but I think they need some offensive line help to help them shore up some things. But since you talked about a player that kind of slid in, let's bring the Bears into this. Let's talk about the beloved real quick. Yeah. So the Bears are all the way down. They are down like at the 20th pick. Projectives have them taking Alex Leatherwood. Who's he's an Alabama player. He's a former right guard that moved to left tackle. 6'6", 312.
Does he play for Alabama?
He plays for Alabama. Right now, he's their starting left tackle.
Never heard that name. Okay. Well, that's good, though.
Leatherwood. But there's somebody else on Alabama's team that I think would be a good pickup for the Bears.
Who's that?
I don't know how this is going to roll, but everybody forgets about the number 5 rated overall quarterback in the NFL draft coming up.
And that's
Mac Jones, the person who got Devontae Smith the award he got. You can't get it as a receiver if you didn't have a hell of a QB passing it to.
Yeah, but you got to remember, though, too, Devontae Smith, he was the guy who caught that 2nd and 26, that overtime pass from Tua to win that game against Georgia. So as a freshman. So this is a guy who was going to probably make it into the league regardless, just because if you could go out, if you're playing in overtime in a national championship game as a true freshman, you're a bad guy. So There wasn't like a guy who just, happened to be passing out Gatorade, just contributing, and they just threw him out there in overtime and he wouldn't caught to win a touchdown pass. So this was a guy who was going to be great regardless. And the Alabama has a way of having a really good offensive line in front of really a good quarterback group. And these guys can stand tall in the pocket and throw the football around, and this is why they win. I tell you what, though, I'd rather get that offensive lineman probably from Alabama than I want to get the quarterback, because I don't care who you put behind that offensive line. If you don't put a solid offensive line up there, I don't care who you put back there, it's not going to make a difference. So they got to go offensive line.
So if you're guaranteed, and there are no guarantees in life, but if you think you can find a solid lineman in the 2nd round with your 2nd pick, do you take a 1st-round quarterback?
No, I'm taking the best offensive lineman I can get. If I'm picking that deep down, it means all the top skill people who were really going to make a really big difference for me are going to probably be gone right at the top. Now, you can find a boatload of skill people 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. You can find a lot of people down through there. But right now, the Bears' biggest problem is offensive line. You got to get this offensive line together. I don't care what you do. You got to get this offensive line together. You got to figure it out, package up a couple of picks, do something. But you got to get this offensive line together, because if you don't get this offensive line together, you're going to be back 8-8 again, 8-8 again next year, 8-8 the year after that, 6-10, just playing good enough to not be terrible, but never being getting out of the 2nd round of playoffs. Not having won a game in the playoffs, we'll find out this Sunday coming up, but I'm thinking that's going to be an offer on that one too.
Yeah, well, you got to find some bad guys. You got to find somebody that you can draft. Even if they're 19, you got to draft them. And then once they come in and start and are your consistent starter as your starter on a team, It's a professional team, but you're 19 and you're starting. You got to be a bad man to be able to come in and do that, especially when you didn't start in college. Yeah, I know you heard me. I don't care what you did.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
You heard me.
Hold on. Is this thing on? Hold on.
Yes, sir. It's on.
No, come on now. Come on. This guy.
Well, hey, you're gonna have a Pat Williams and an Alex Leatherwood, and together they're gonna form a band called Williams Leatherwood.
That actually will work. I probably would pay you to go see that. I like.
That'll be a good country band. It'll be a good country western band.
But it'll be better than the band says I'm not number 4.
All right, that's it. That is it. We got to get ready to get out of here. But before we get ready to go, just as a reminder, we want to thank those who have subscribed. Our subscribers are the best subscribers in the world.
Yes,
we love you, and we thank you. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe, please feel free to hit the like and share button. All you have to do is go and find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, any social media app, and you can also find any of our podcasts on any of your favorite podcast platforms. So all you have to do is find Iron Skillet Sports. You can look for us at Iron Skillet Sports, or you can always find us at #Skillet_sports.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is just asking you to go out and support us as we support you. Because for Christmas, we gave you the best Christmas gift we could give you, which is the gift of the sizzle. It's the gift that keeps giving 12 months out of the year. No other gift that you bought. Trust me, that child who you bought that Xbox 5 for, that Xbox 5 is going to be old by next year. They're going to need an Xbox 6. But you cannot replace the sizzle. It's always hot.
I thought you were comparing us to the gift that keeps on giving that you had to go see the doctor about.
No, that's like luggage. You carry that around with you for life. We are the gift that keeps giving you life. We are the gift that keeps giving you excitement. We are the gift that keeps telling you to tell Patrick Williams, you need to step up, young man.
Let's go.
Game together.
Get your game together. Let's go.
Yeah.